Man, I've heard some crazy statements this past week. The craziest was probably Doechii saying that straight men are red flags. Good way to alienate part of your audience. It's gonna be interesting how that unravels. But no, but the second craziest statement I heard all week, is what I'm talking about today, is that Van Lathan said that D'Angelo wasn't neo soul. And it's like, what? Now, if you don't know Van Lathan came from TMZ. He hosts his higher learning channel with Rachel Lindsay, the former Bachelorette, which is a long time ago now. And they've done okay. Like, they got 67,000 views. People seem to like them. So in a recent episode, they were talking about, they talked about a whole bunch of different things. But at the beginning, they talked about the death of Dwayne Wiggins of 2020 Tony, and they talked about the love of the Tonys and the respect for Dwayne and all that stuff, which is great. And then Rachel brought up D'Angelo because I guess what happened was sometime a while ago, they had like a Mount Rushmore of neo soul people, and folks was ripping them because they didn't have D'Angelo on the Mount Rushmore. It's like, how can you not have D'Angelo on the Mount Rushmore? it's D'Angelo, it's Maxwell, and it's Erykah Badu. And then you could fill in a fourth. Like, yeah, it's D'Angelo, Maxwell, and Erykah. That's three-fourths of Mount Rushmore right there. Oh my God, Erykah. I love Erykah. Like, when she came up On and On, I say, oh my, she is like the perfect woman. Her eyes and lips are perfect. And it's like, oh my God, I don't know who she is, but I need to find out I need to marry her. And this is before she dated Andre 3000. This is before Common. This is before the whole mythology about her and love and women and men. It's like, oh my God, Erykah was perfect. But yeah, so it's like, wait, you didn't have D'Angelo on your Mount Rushmore. What the hell? But Van doubled down. Like, he was saying, like, he didn't think D'Angelo was Mount Rushmore. He said he came out in 1995. He said in the Brown Sugar video, he wasn't. He was in a leather jacket. He was playing a guitar. He wasn't like Erykah because Erykah was like Afrocentric. And it's like, you don't have to be Afrocentric to be neo soul. That's the beautiful thing about neo soul. Neo soul was a vibe. It was a sound. It wasn't like a look. Everybody didn't have the same look. Like, Erykah's vibe was the unk and all that stuff, but that was Erykah. That's different from what Florgy was doing. Maxwell was different from D'Angelo. D'Angelo's different from Music Soul Child. Music Soul Child's different from Dwale. Like, it was a vibe. It was a sound. It wasn't a particular look. So let's go back to that time period, right? Let's go back to 1995. In fact, let's go back early. Let's go to the 90s. Go to 1990. So if we look at R&B music in the 1990s, which was great, but it was very group heavy. You had, of course, BBD that we always forget about. We had BBD, we had the Tonys, we have Brand New Heavies, and you have Mint Condition. And then we have a whole host of singing groups. You have Vogue, you have Jodeci, you have Boyz II Men, you have TLC, you have Shy, so underrated. I love Shy. You have H-Town, you have Silk. Like, there were just so many. You have Blackstreet. I love Blackstreet. You have so many groups. So if you were an R&B singer at that time period, you were better off having a group. And this is where we get R. Kelly and Public Announcement for the one album. Then R. Kelly breaks off. He does 12 Play. 12 Play becomes a monster. And by the time we get to 1995, we have Martell Jordan. We have Adina Howard. We have Joe. We have now R&B solo singers instead of R&B groups. However, there's a distinctive hip-hop and R&B sound with all of these artists during that time period. Brown Sugar was totally different sonically than anything else. The Brown Sugar sounded nothing like we heard before. Like, you might say, oh, there's some Tonys in it. It might be some Brand New Heavies, but no, it's its own unique sound. When Brown Sugar came out, you didn't know, one, was he talking about weed or was he talking about a woman? The whole look of the video, it was a cool video. That whole aesthetic we did not see in urban culture. That's an aesthetic we would see later in a movie like Love Jones. I don't know if we get a Love Jones if it wasn't for Brown Sugar. I don't know, like, all the poetry slams, which I'm sure was going on at the time. I don't know it would have got the same love if we didn't see that same vibe in Brown Sugar back in 1995. And the thing about D'Angelo that was interesting is he was still a virtually unknown dude. His claim to fame before that, the film Jason's Lyric with Jada Pinkett and Al Payne and Bokeem Woodbine, fantastic movie. I love that movie. I think Cat Williams was in that movie too. At least Nicole Carson. Shout out to her. But yeah, so D'Angelo did a song called You Will Know. He wrote and produced that song. And it had all these black men of R&B singing on that. It's almost like a Wheel of the World for black men. Perish the thought. people actually loving black men. But again, that was 1995. Not so much in 2025. Some sort of red flags and all. Crazy times with these ladies. So yeah, so we have You Will Know. And then it's like, wow, this young dude named D'Angelo put these men together and had this great song off the Jason's Lyrics soundtrack. Who is he? Because we didn't know. And then we had no clue until when Brown Sugar hit. And it wasn't just about Brown Sugar. He had their Lady remix. You had Dreamy Eyes. You had his remake of Cruisin' by Smokey Robinson. Man, the way D'Angelo looked, his style, it was totally different, man. It was almost like he was like a guy from Wu-Tang who can sing. And that's what it was. Like, he looked like he could have been like a dude should have been in a crew like Mobb Deep, but he was just had the most beautiful vocal and a beautiful style. And he had cornrows. Like, during that time period, like, dudes were still kind of rocking like the Michael Jordan baldies. It wasn't as tough as it was like in the early 90s where all these dudes was cutting their, like the Fab Five was, they're all bald headed. But by 95, people still rocking that Jordan look. And D'Angelo was the first dude that was sporting those cornrows. And then, because Allen Iverson wasn't doing that till later. It wasn't AI who brought back cornrows. It was D'Angelo, man. D'Angelo did so much. And because of that, we get Maxwell in 96. Maxwell made Urban Sweet Hangout in 94, 95. And the record company didn't know what to do with him because he wasn't like R. Kelly or Joe or Montel Jordan or any of these acts. Like he had his own, because he worked with the producers like Sardays folks. He worked with them on that. So they didn't know what to put him. But when Brown Sugar hit, then we get Maxwell in 96. And the through line between Erykah and D'Angelo is Kedar Massenberg. Kedar Massenberg was D'Angelo's first manager. And he also, I think, executive produced the Brown Sugar album. Kedar, I don't think he stopped being D'Angelo's manager, but then he did launch his label, Kedar Entertainment. And his first artist of Kedar Entertainment was Erykah Badu. And that was 97. So we got 95, 96, 97. Neo Soul was a seismic shift in R&B. Now, again, everybody can still do what they want to do. See, the thing is different than today. Like, today, you got to be like everybody else. Back then, you could either be neo soul, you could do hip hop and R&B, you could do whatever you want. Like, there was enough room for everybody. You could still have stuff produced by Alien Babyface, stuff produced by Missy and Timbaland. Like, it wasn't like a distinct sound that we have today. Like, everybody got to have the same vibe. You could be neo soul and still have that whole Virginia thing with Missy and Timbaland. That's totally fine. But that's why that genre is actually better than this genre today. Right? But yeah, so I don't know what Van Lathan is talking about. Like, we wouldn't, man, neo soul is such a vibe. And I don't know why he feels like D'Angelo isn't part of this. He is neo soul. If there's a godfather of neo soul, if James Brown is the godfather of soul, D'Angelo is the godfather of neo soul. We went all these great acts that we get in the 2000s, like Floetry and Music Soul Child. We probably wouldn't get them if it wasn't for D'Angelo. So I don't know what Van Lathan's talking about. And I mean this, and I respect this dude because he's very successful. But it's fine not to know everything, right? It feels like Van Lathan knows a lot of different things, but music isn't his strong suit. Hell, like Rachel Lindsay made a stronger argument for D'Angelo than Van Lathan did. Rachel Lindsay clearly knows music. In fact, she asked him. Maxwell had a song called Women's Work. And I knew that song before because my college friend, she was a black ballerina. She's the only black chick I knew who was into Kate Bush. So when Maxwell did that for the MTV Unplugged album, I was like, oh, I heard this song before. But she asked Van Lathan, do you know who did that song before? And he said, I don't know. Like, he said, Carly Simon. And she's like, no, it was Kate Bush. And Van Lathan said, oh, wait, Kate Bush, Carly Simon, they're all the same. Bro, they're not. Carly Simon was great. Kate Bush was great. Two totally different sounds. Two totally different looks. You can't put these two white men in a bag and say they were the same. They're not. Van Lathan, I mean this with peace and love. Like, you're far successful than I am, and you're really deep into pop culture, and God bless you for it. But you really don't know a lot about music if it's over 20 years old. Like, it's one thing to say Kate Bush and Carly Simon are the same, but then not to have D'Angelo on your Mount Rushmore. To say that D'Angelo is not soul is just insane. And the saying is, don't you say straight men are red flags? Oh my God! So what do you guys think? Is Van Lathan right or wrong? Is Neo Soul D'Angelo or not?